Hey there. All right, I'm taking some time today to actually do a little art journaling just for myself. And I call this art journal minis because it's just a small, let's see, where's my pad? It's just a small watercolor pad that's the size of a 4x6. So it's not too large, but just the right size to um, take a few minutes to feel inspired and create a little something for myself. And I was sitting here creating this and I thought I should bring you along. So I'm going to catch you up to date to where I'm at as far as the process of what I've done, because I really haven't done that much on it. What I did to start with is I took the 4x6 watercolor paper, and then I just found random pieces of colored paper, a book print magazine page. This is actually a piece out of a magazine that was a black and white chair. Let's see. This is part of a doily. It's down here. It's colored right now, but you can see that little piece of doily. And then I also took some of the tissue paper. Where's my tissue paper? Some of the tissue paper, and I just sprinkled it on and glued it as I went with my matte medium. I'm using matte medium as I'm doing everything through this so far on this process. So this area in here, see if I can get this up here a little closer. You can see it is scratched on just to create a little texture, and then I carried that through up here in the corner. Once I did that, then I came over it. There's no color on it. It's just the paper at this point. Then I went over the top of that with this clear gesso, applied it completely, and dried just to where it was not completely dry, but I had a lot of the liquid off. And then I started adding my aqua inks, and I picked some of the colors that I felt would, represent what's already in here. So I've got this beautiful green. What do they call this actually? Resido. Can't even say that. This is magenta. And then Petro. I don't know. It's a turquoise. Blue green. And I took, because I didn't want to put my brush into it, is really why I use these, but these Q-tips. And I took some of the color. And be careful you don't pollute your whatever you're using, because this is still wet. So I would use a couple of ends. I would get the color on it and I'd use it, and then I would use the clean end to dip back in. But I just started coloring and adding the color to that. Then I dried it, and that's where we are at this point with all this color right here. Now, I think what I'll go back over this with is, I just want to play with a lot of the products in that I have. I have these art crayons, which is acrylic paint. I'm going to add some of that right in here. Just color away. Add a few spots here and there. Now, what I'm going to do at this point, what I'd love to do at this point, is to take my regular gesso. Oh, I haven't opened this up in a while. Give me a minute. I'm going to have to put super strength to it. I don't know if I can get that one open. There we go. Woo! I haven't opened that jar. I put it in my travel kit. It hasn't been opened in a little bit of time, but it is full. I'm going to take that and now go over it with the gesso. Let's take it off the lid first. That's very thick, so I'm going to water that down. Because I just want a faint, and that activates my crayons, which I love. I'll clean my brush because I don't want to turn it into mud. And lift some of that gesso up and come down here. With some of this, I want to keep some of the true colors so that it was originally like this bright yellow. True colors. Right? There'll be a lot of drying in between, which is great because that gives you the time to just contemplate and relax. So let's try this. Okay. Now that's dried. So let's now go back over it. Some more gesso. I'm going to pull from this lid so I can. It's pretty thick too. Isn't that wonderful? When you hit right over that, it brings that back out, the texture. So that's really what I want is I want to show off that texture. And what I'm doing is I'm pushing back all of the color in that was there. I'm leaving some of it. Right, I'm going to draw that. All right, now just a nice little background. And I'm going to I need to pull out some of my stamps here for a second. So give me a moment here and let me just pull out some of my stamps. And see if I can find those. All right, let me get out my stamps. And I've got these that I just recently got. see what I have here. I want to use a brown. Oh, this is great. This is nice. I'm going to use a black, and I hope that this one's permanent. I'm not 100% sure about that, but we'll try it. I'm not going to press hard. Let's see if I can just create a faint. Kind of rub over that. It didn't leave anything. So let's try again. Let's go right up here. This time let's press hard. See if we get something. Yeah, we got a little bit that time. Okay, that creates just a nice little faint. Just add that little texture to it. There we go. Wonderful. Okay, now set that aside and we'll clean that. Take my brush again with a little more gesso. Get some white. Sometimes I'll use my fingers because it gets rid of that. A brush will leave a brush stroke. That's what I'm trying to say, isn't it? And a lot of times I just want it to be just a cloudy haze. Okay, that's a very soft, subtle. That's pretty. I like that. Okay, that's a great background to start with. Let me see something. I pulled out magazines, to use. There was a bird here. I've got these bird stamps. You could use that. I do that. Use a bird stamp. So we're going to come across here. This die. Good. Let me find my there it is. So watercolor. I'm going to use this little bird right here. Let's see if I have a stamp holder. Got some words on here that's been on here for a while. Do you ever do that? Do you leave things on and then you can't get it off? Well, sometimes I do. Stick that away over here. A storm rumbling through here. Just kind of enjoy life. Oh, I like all of these. We want the hummingbird. Let's go for this bird right here. Stick him on. He fits. Nice. Right. Ink pad. Give it brown. Let's see if I have another black. Let's see. These little colors. I'm reaching for whatever's close to me. I'm using what I have that's close by. Sweet Plum. Fade resistant dry ink. Let's see how that goes. I'm not sure how this works actually with water or any kind of liquid across the top, but let's try it. He's going to sit right here. We'll press him on. And hopefully I stuck this well enough. Oh, I mushed it. But you know what? That's okay. It moved, but that's all right. Because something you have to let go of when you're working these projects is that perfection. Just enjoy what you're doing. I need to wipe that off. I always like to get that off before it gets... I'm going to use that same color to go around my edges, but I'll do that after. Oh, it looks like I've already got a branch started right there. So let's just finish it. I can see almost like a tree trunk here. It's interesting. If you just look, sometimes things start appearing. Draw these branches up here. Like that. Take brown. Let's color this in. These are watercolor. I'm not sure if they're going to work out with this, but we'll see. I can also get my acrylic paints out, and that for sure will work. Okay, need a small brush and activate. Let's see if this will activate on here. Oh, I think what I'll do, yeah, it does activate, but I think I'll go ahead and get my acrylic paints. That works good. Well, they're coming off. It's actually doing really well. So let's come back over this while it's wet. And it's what it's doing is I'm need to be careful because I'm taking it off. Just put it on my brush. Taking off the top layer, going down. Because that's right there's where the tissue is. So it's I have another idea. I think this is dry, hopefully. I'm going to get into my brown ink here. Get some on. Let's just play with this. See what happens. I hope you allow. I like to let this time be just kind of my experimental time, my play time, but try things. Don't have a pressure of trying to make it perfect for a project. Oh, that's turned out great. I'm loving that. So simple, but yet okay, it might come off with just a few little branch things like this. Where's my black? Add a little water to that. I love my watercolor pencils. Once it took me a while to really kind of figure out how to use them. So if you're ever struggling with something, I just put it away for a while, and then one day I decided to pick them up and there. I'm gonna pretend like there's a branch that's coming over here. Okay, like so. Let's activate that. I love that feeling when you're doing something and it just starts to appear and you really have no clue what you're going to do, but you just keep playing with it and a thought comes to you and it's like, wonder what would happen if I tried this. You try it and it either turns out and you love it or it's not quite what you thought it was going to do. And then you're thinking to yourself, well, not a problem. Now, what are we going to do with that? Which is actually great because it's all those happy mistakes that help us to explore new options, new ideas. I've got way too much happening there with that branch. So I'm going to take a little gesso and just go right over it. Not too much. I don't want to cover up my swirly swirls, but just a little bit. I use my fingers on this. Let's bring some up here because create that flow. Always want your eye to move from one part to the next. You want to have a focal point, which obviously this is the bird. And then I need to have it move and flow to other parts of the composition. And I have this thought to put a little bit of this over here. Just to tie it all in. All right. Now, this is springtime. Let's try this. All right, I'm just looking for a few colors that I have here. Now, on my stamps, I have a leaf. We could use that. Why not? Okay, I cleaned off that bird. So we'll stick it back. Yes, and the reason I'm going to use it is because want to use this green here. I love the color of it. So let's see what happens. I haven't used these in so long. I'm hoping it's not dried out. Let's see, that didn't work. I think it's a little, but the color is great. So I'm going to go ahead, and even though it didn't take the shape of it, I love the color. It brings a little bit of life back into it. So let's just add it. Okay. We go for odd numbers. I've got 4. So we're going to go for 5. Put it right up here off of the page. Okay, now that's pretty faint. You don't see that so well. And that's fine. You can wipe that off. Ooh, the wrong thing to wipe that off with. I was wiping gesso into it. Okay. Let me see something. There's some color to it, so we can add. Huh. That's interesting. Just went right over the top. Okay, let's try that here. I'm not going to worry about creating an actual leaf. We're just going to add the color. See what I mean? This little accident. Interesting. Okay. I think I like that. Ooh, I like that. That worked out pretty good. Happy accident. Right. I do know I want to take this. I want to go around. Let's see. I'm trying to tie the bird in, or that purple color in, so that it's just, so it blends. So I'm going to go there and go with what feels right. I'm going to go up here. I'm not using a brush. I'm just using the pad itself. And take this baby wipe thing and let's see what happens. I blend it in. And put a layer over the top of that, blend in. Like so. Oh, I think I'm in love with it. Now I can just sit here, like I said, I'm just having a great time. This is my me time right this second. Let's see. Let's go ahead and finish off this around here. Brown. Okay. Fantastic. Let's give it a little dry and then okay, I'm looking at it and here's my jelly roll. This is my jelly roll pan. Sometimes, nope, that's the silver one. Well, I'll use the micron here. But see, I see a little eye right here. And the bird does have an eye on the thing, so I'm going to attempt to outline it. That pen is not working. That's not good. Let's try this one, see if it works. Right. I'll give him a little bit of definition here. And I need my white pen. Let's see. See if this is too white tip. Put a little white. Nope. Let's try this. See if we can get, I'm looking for a little bit of white to add a highlight to it. That works. Don't want them to be spooky. So there. Come back with a little dark. Okay. Let's see. You got to be aware. You get to a point of where you can overwork something. So I'm going to add some water to that. This has been a lot of fun. Let's see, let's add some of that. It's just okay. There it is. My little project for the day. And I'm going to put a statement on it. I'll find a little quote or something. It's my little quote card. I'll stick that on there. And then I'll post it on my page on Kathy's Mixed Media on Facebook. You can go to my website. And my website is kathyfreemanart.com. See some of the things that I have on there. But I hope you enjoyed doing this with me. It's a lot of fun. I think it turned out really